Hi there, my name is Mike Hunts. In this game here, we're going to have two Tier 10 SXs versus three Tier 10 enemies. We're not going to have any enemy carriers in this game, so this game here is just going to be a quick tutorial on how to go about micromanaging your torpedo bomber squadrons, how to do coordinated attacks and stagger them as well, and how to go about handling when enemy targets, such as Yamatos, might be escorted by enemy cruisers, making them slightly more difficult to bomb. Here and there, I am going to pop in and out of the video to give a little bit more information as to what I'm doing. And let's go ahead and get this started. As you can see here, we have a cruiser escorting the Yamatos here, so it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for us to be able to strike this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and bait out his anti-aircraft ability early by using dive bombers. If I can get that to go off, I can make it a little bit easier for my torpedo bombers to go on in and make a more accurate coordinated strike. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm failing a little bit here, and so is my friend. Let's see if we can go ahead and get this to happen. There we go. It looks like it's finally started. Unfortunately, my ally went in a little bit too early and was the one who set it off, but I'm going to try and hold mine off for a little bit longer. Eat up a little bit more AA in the meantime as well, but hopefully I'll be able to get more strikes in for that. And let's see here. This Yamato is starting to turn away, so I'm going to have to reposition my torpedo bombers to the other side. Looks like they're starting to get a little more tightly packed too, which is going to make the AA even more deadly.
Awaiting instructions. We're under attack.
I'm just checking there to make sure the AA ability is still going. And it looks like it's cleared up, so now I can finally go back in. Alright. Here I am going to lose quite a few planes, unfortunately, because 2 Yamatos is quite a lot of AA to go through. However, I will get this drop off successfully and get in the shots that I do hit. The good thing is that since this enemy was already hit before by my ally, he's already wasted his repair, therefore anything that I cause, such as critical damage or flooding, now can't be repaired, and he's going to have to go through the full effect of it. Which means that even though I only hit a few torpedoes, it's going to do roughly about the same amount of damage as if I had landed all 6 on that enemy. Or in this case, all 12. If I can hopefully get him to burn as well, that'll just add on to the amount of damage over time that I'll be doing to him. looks like I wasn't too lucky this time, unfortunately.
Maintaining present course.
It looks like the enemy's starting to get a little too close to me, so I'm going to have to start pulling back some now. And I'll continue to use my fighters as scouts here to kind of look and see where they're going at. Well, looks like I'm now starting to get under fire. I'm going to have to start pulling myself out of here even quicker. Probably should have started doing this a little sooner, but I was a little sidetracked by other things, unfortunately. Since the battleship I had already hit earlier is on the opposite side of this Yamato, and I don't want to eat up more AA than I have to, I'm going to have to just go for the one that's at full health here instead. I'm also making sure that I point it out to my ally, that way he knows to go for the same target as myself.
We are under attack.
Looks like this time I was able to set him on fire and make him use his repair. See if I can line up this shot just right, and it's perfect.
Returning to ship.
Roughly about 60,000 worth of damage there. Now I know a lot of people tend to say that torpedo bombers are OP and stuff like that. However, it takes a lot of work normally in order to line up a shot such as that. And when the enemy doesn't try at all to maneuver out of your way, it makes it fairly easy for somebody who can judge the distance that it needs to take for the torpedo to get there. Really, really easy to land all 6 of those hits. As you can see here, my ally aimed it just a little too far ahead, even though this guy isn't even trying to dodge. And will only get off roughly about 3 torpedoes on him.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship. Group 3, we're under attack. Group 3. Standing by for instructions. Over. Ready for takeoff.
It looks like it's just us 2 carriers now.
Group 5, maintaining present course. Awaiting instructions. Airborne. All stations, requesting fire support. Group 3, standing by for instructions. Over. Group 5, we are under attack.
Now, landing a torpedo on a smaller target such as a cruiser or especially a destroyer is relatively difficult because the amount of maneuverability they have is much higher than that of a battleship. So it might take a lot of repositioning in order to be able to even line up for one single shot here, like I'm trying to do right now. However, I think I got it. Looks like I only managed to get off the one here. At least something. Looks like I'm not paying attention to where I'm going either. I hope I don't end up crashing into anything. And it looks like I managed to line that one up. I look away, come back to it. Yep, I got him. 3 out of 5. Alright, now the most imminent threat here is this destroyer here. My ally is going to go ahead and try and take him out. Once again, I think it might be just a little too soon. The hardest part about this is, though, is you never really know where to aim on these destroyers, and once you already set up your shot for your torpedo bombers and they start their run, there's no way for you to adjust them. So it's nearly impossible to hit a destroyer. And it's relatively hard in order to be able to hit any cruiser in the game as well, regardless of how good or how hard you put in the effort to getting that shot lined up. Looks like my torpedo bombers are finally almost loaded here. Took about a good 2 minutes or so. And I'm going to have to take my crack here at this destroyer, see if I might be able to do something about him before he can get into range to torpedo us.
Under attack.
First shot here. I think I've got it. He didn't try and turn at all. I was hoping he would turn a little bit sooner so that way he wouldn't outrun it. But nope, he got out of it. That's why it's so hard to be able to hit a torpedo on a destroyer. Just because of the arming distance, it gives them so much time to be able to maneuver either left, right, or continue going straight that you just don't know how far to shoot. So I'm going to try and line up one more. And he's going to try and go through it, and unfortunately it's a little too late. As you can tell by chat here, yeah, I'm a little ecstatic about it because I really do never see anybody else torpedo bomb a destroyer and actually make it successfully. I myself have only managed to do it a couple times, and it still took quite a few squadrons to do. Now that we've taken out any of the immediate dangers, well, all we have left are 2 Yamato battleships, who, by the way, don't happen to be next to each other to stack their AA, so it should be a lot easier to finish these guys off. We're just going to go for this closest one here. I'm going to let my ally know to separate the attacks, that way we can hopefully get him with a little bit of flooding, because he does have a lot of HP left, so unless we manage to hit most of our torpedoes from both of our squadrons, I doubt we'd be able to sink them right away.
Returning to ship. Group 5, we are under attack. Standing by for instructions. Over.
Okay, now it's my turn to go in. I'm going to send my first one. I'm going to keep another one in reserve. Looks like my ally did really well there with that run. He's, however, already started to turn for mine, though, so I'm not going to hit quite as many. Looks like he stopped turning too, or else he would have been able to dodge one more. See what I can do with this one here. So close. And it looks like even though those 4 torpedoes I landed, if you looked at the ribbons there, it only said I got 3 hits, which means one of those was a dud. It's actually a really big thing on the forums. A lot of people saying stuff about, oh, they should add dud ratios and stuff like that to torpedoes. I don't think anybody's actually tested and noticed it yet other than myself, but there have been times where I've landed torpedoes that were already armed because they were fired from far enough away. However, they still did 0 damage because they were duds. It's just such a rare occurrence, though, that nobody else really pays attention and happens to notice those types of things. Alright, well, I hope everybody enjoyed my first video, and I hope you don't mind the buzzing mic, but let's go ahead and finish this off. Looks like he's almost dead, but with the score being what it is, if my ally can get in this, he'll just end up securing the kill and ending the game that much sooner. Now, considering how small this game was, only being 4 opponents, I managed to land 27 torpedo hits. That's a little above the norm for most people. But it was a good game overall, so congratulations to both teams. Took out a lot of our allies, and yeah. See what we got here. Check out the damage we did. Looks like I only managed to do about 152k in an entire game. Most other battleship stuff like that usually get about 200k plus damage-wise in a match, especially for Yamato tier 10. So in terms of damage and money-making potential, carriers are kind of on the low end.